Welcome to the Katie Wellness Show, where you get the tools, knowledge, and inspiration you need to transform your health and wellness, body, mind, and spirit. You'll learn holistic and practical wellness strategies that empower you to reclaim your health and fully step into your power. You belong here as you learn to tap into your intuition to support your body every step of the way. Let go of what's no longer serving you and teach these tools and strategies to your family to raise emotionally and physically resilient children. Welcome back to the Katie Wellness Show. I am so glad that you are here. Today, we are talking about different habits to support your hormone cycle. And before we get into the tips, I just wanted to explain a little bit about hormones and how they work in the body. So hormones are like messengers in the body. They send signals to your glands and they affect your cells. Those signals or hormones travel a specific pathway. So they're created in the hypothalamus, then to the pituitary glands, then to the sex glands like the testes, the thyroid, the ovaries, the adrenal glands. And then these three glands are called the HPA axis. So within this trio of glands, the fight or flight is triggered. The rest and digest is triggered here. And fight or flight, we hear a lot about this right now, but during fight or flight, our bodies are sensing that we are in danger. It's on alert, looking for danger. Blood will go into our muscles instead of our organs because our body is preparing to run away, which means it's going to be harder for our blood to pump and harder for our lungs to work and harder for our brains to get the oxygen that they need. The digestion slows because if you're running from a bear, you don't need to be eating and digesting food, right? So your body is really smart and intuitive. Your senses become heightened, your craving for carbs and sugar increase, your heart rate increases, your blood sugar rises to give you energy so you have the ability to run from that bear. And your libido and your sex hormones are suppressed and even bypassed. Here's the thing. Any perceived stress activates cortisol. So those messengers or those hormones that are headed to your glands, the HPA axis, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, or the sex glands, get taken, they get stolen to create cortisol. So instead of having those messengers sent to your thyroid or your ovaries or your adrenals, it's sent to produce cortisol. And if your body is making cortisol, it's unable to make sex hormones like estrogen, testosterone, DHEA, aldosterone, which we need for a functioning hormone cycle for men and for women. Here's the thing, your fight or flight is your irrational brain. So things are perceived as a bigger deal than they are. And there are lots of things that can trigger our fight or flight response through this HPA axis. And we say stress, and oftentimes we think, oh, I'm stressed about work or I'm stressed about my kids. But we can also be stressed by environmental factors like an overabundance of toxins in our body or in our bloodstream. We can be stressed by specific foods or lack of specific nutrients. So any of these can trigger our fight or flight response. And then our body is making cortisol instead of all the other hormones that our body needs to work properly. These hormones, after they get sent to the HPA axis or to create cortisol, then it goes to our bloodstream and then to our cells. Here is where the hormone imbalance kind of comes into play, is that some specific problems associated with most common hormonal balances include estrogen dominance. The tips that I'm going to be sharing today are more focused on how to heal your body if there is an abundance of estrogen in your body. And we'll talk about how estrogen dominance gets started in your body, but it goes back to that HPA axis and being in fight or flight. So that's why I wanted to explain that at the beginning. Other specific problems with hormone imbalances are polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, commonly linked to infertility, weight gain, higher risk for diabetes, acne, abnormal hair growth. You can also have low estrogen, and that shows as a low sex drive, reproductive problems, menstrual irregularity, and changes in mood. Other hormonal imbalance issues are hyperthyroidism, or Graves' disease. So this is a dysfunctioning thyroid. Usually it's hyperactive, meaning it's producing too many hormones and your body doesn't know what to do with all of those. It's commonly linked to anxiety, thinning hair, weight loss, IBS, trouble sleeping, and irregular heartbeats. And I don't know if you knew this, but diabetes is also a hormone imbalance issue, or linked to hormone imbalances through weight gain, nerve damage, higher risk of vision loss, fatigue, trouble breathing, dry mouth, skin problems. And then last that I'm going to just touch on here is adrenal fatigue. So extremely exhausted, muscle aches and pains, anxiety and depression, trouble sleeping, brain fog, not frog, and reproductive problems. So these are just some of the more common hormonal imbalances. And some of the tips that I will suggest today work to help balance all of those. And I will stress the importance of knowing your own body and knowing what your body needs. These are just some alternative therapies that are gentle on the body, that are simple swaps that you can make, that can help your hormones no matter which of the hormone imbalance issues that you're having. Number one tip to support your cycle, or to support your hormones, or to help balance your hormones, is seed cycling. Seed cycling is a way of providing your body with the specific healthy fats that you need throughout the female's menstrual cycle. So this is specifically for women. And just as a little briefly touching on how the hormone cycle works in women. Days 1 through 14, roughly day 14, are considered your follicular phase. Day 1 is considered menstruation. Day 14 is close to ovulation. And then days 15 through 28 is considered the luteal phase. And in each of those different phases, your body is going through different hormone changes. Some hormones will be lower, some will be higher, and then they switch. And your body will need different nutrients at different times throughout this cycle. So seed cycling is a way to support your body through whole, real food, through nutrition, in order to give your body those nutrients that it needs so that your cycle can function properly. So during the first phase, during the follicular phase, or the first 14 or so days, seed cycling would be to include more flax, chia, and hemp seeds, and fish oil. This gives you the right fats that you need, and the right omegas, the right amount of cholesterol to help you produce those hormones. During the luteal phase, so around day 15 until day 28, or whatever it is for your body, adding seeds like sesame, pumpkin, sunflower, and adding evening primrose oil can be a great way to help balance your hormones and give your body the nutrients that it needs throughout the different phases. You can add seeds to smoothies, to yogurt, to granola. I like to sprinkle my seeds, so I will just mix up a batch of the first set of seeds. So I'll have a glass jar of flax, chia, and hemp that I leave in my fridge or in my freezer. And then I'll just take a scoop out during that first half of the cycle. I'll take a scoop out and add it to my smoothies, or add it to my eggs, or add it to my yogurt and granola, or I'll add it on top of my salad. During the second half, I have a separate jar with the second seeds, sesame, pumpkin, and sunflower. And I'll do the same thing. I'll add it to smoothies or yogurt and granola, salads, pudding, whatever it is that I'm eating. If it can reasonably be added, I add it. And this is a great way for me to, one, track my cycle and kind of keep up on what my body is, the changes that are happening in my body. So I can also be aware of how I can support my body energetically, or how I can plan my days in a way that is also honoring my cycle. So tip number 1, seed cycling. It's supporting your body through whole foods, providing your body nutrients that you need throughout the different times of the month. Second tip is, especially if you have estrogen dominance. So just as a reminder, estrogen dominance typically presents itself as changes in sleep pattern, changes in weight and appetite, higher perceived stress, and a slower metabolism. That's not all there is, right? But that's kind of, generally it presents itself as that at first. The raw carrot salad is shredded carrots, melted coconut oil drizzle over the top, and a good quality salt. And this helps to draw the estrogen, the excessive estrogen, and also the fake estrogens or the hormone disruptors that come into our body through use of plastics or drinking from plastic water bottles, or cooking with certain nonstick pans. Like that introduces fake chemicals into our body, and it blocks the receptor sites for estrogen. So when our body then tries to produce estrogen and there's nowhere for that estrogen to go, we end up with estrogen dominance in our system. Our body has no way of using and getting rid of those extra hormones. So a raw carrot salad is shredded carrots, coconut oil, a little bit of salt. You can eat it on its own. You can add it on top of salads. You could add it to smoothies, but what that does is it helps your body to eliminate the extra estrogen. Third, this also kind of goes along with the raw carrot salad and estrogen dominance, but you want to do what you can, make simple swaps to get rid of xenoestrogens in your body. Xenoestrogens are those fake estrogens that I was talking about. It comes from using plastic containers, using products with fragrance like wallflowers, or candles that are not clean, like highly scented, highly fragranced laundry detergents and dish soap and perfumes. A lot of beauty products have these xenoestrogens in them, and they put fake estrogen in your body that block the receptors. So the estrogen that your body is making on its own has nowhere to go. So over time, estrogen builds up in your body, and then that signals to your body, oh, stop making estrogen. And then you have more problems compounding on top of that. So get rid of xenoestrogens in your diet. Switch your plastic containers for glass. Read the label. If it says fragrance on it, see if you can swap it for something that has a more natural fragrance, like using essential oils or getting an unscented version of something. Looking for products that are clean beauty products can also help a lot with that. Tip number 4, eat clean protein and healthy fats. You want to get you want to get foods that have cholesterol. Cholesterol is the master hormone. That is the nutrient needed to make every hormone in your body. It supplies the ingredients for all the rest to be created. So if you are depriving your body of healthy fats or of clean protein, you are making your body work harder to create the hormones. So look for ways, and again, that's why my number 1 tip is seed cycling. That is where a lot of healthy fats come from all of those seeds: flax, chia, hemp, sesame, pumpkin, and sunflower. It's a great way to be sure that you're getting the right ingredients for your hormones. Tip number 5 is to regulate your nervous system. You have to change the way that your mind perceives stress. You have to calm that fight or flight response. If you wake up thinking today's going to be the worst day, or stressing about all the things that could happen, or if you're unable to go to sleep at night because your mind is racing about all the things that could potentially happen, right? All those intrusive thoughts, that is your body being on alert. And if you live in this space for too long, it causes a lot of hormone disruption because your body isn't able to use those messengers in your body in a way that supports your hormones, your thyroid and your ovaries and your adrenals. It is sending all of those messengers to create cortisol, which leaves you in an increased heart rate, right? Your heart is having to pump your blood harder and faster. Your heart's going to have trouble later on. Blood sugar is going to rise. You're going to be more susceptible to diabetes in the future if you live in this state for a long time. And as someone who lived in fight or flight for probably 30 years, 20, 30 years, if you don't recognize the signs when they are small, your body will yell, scream, shut down, throw a big, huge tantrum until you have to listen, until you are completely debilitated. This is my experience. This is experiences that I've shared with others, that their body finally just had enough and it shut down. So learning to calm that fight or flight response in the moment, but also changing how your body perceives stress. And this is where I see emotional processing be of the greatest benefit in regulating your nervous system. Yes, it is so important to have in the moment tools like breathing or tapping or butterfly hugs or somatic exercises. But it is so important to change the way that our brain perceives stress. I love using emotional processing for this, and this is a service that I do offer. Other options are through like body talk or through tapping is a good one maybe to use in the moment, but also if you do it consistently or daily in preparation for stressful times, that can also help. Adding adaptogens to your diet, so through like ashwagandha or through maca, those can also help your body adapt to stress. Tip number 6, you've probably heard it, you know it's important. You have to prioritize sleep. When you are low on sleep, everything else feels like a big deal. Your brain can't think straight. If you need more ideas on how to improve sleep, check out podcast episode number 6. But sleep, getting a solid, women, I want to say like 8 to 10 hours. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, especially if you have really little kids or if you have teenagers. Basically, I think if you have kids at all, and then if you don't have kids, then it's just a big joke because now you can't sleep because you've been basically awake for your whole life up until really late hours waiting for teens to come home, and up really early because your little kids can't sleep in and their bodies are just awake, right? So the joke's on us, but there are ways that we can create really solid bedtime routines to help us get good quality sleep. This will immensely change how your body perceives stress. And just one last quick review. I'll go over those 6 tips again really fast. Seed cycling, a raw carrot salad daily, switch out plastic for glass, and work to get rid of xenoestrogens out of your body. Get rid of fragrances, get rid of those wallflowers, get rid of soy. Number 4, eat clean protein and healthy fats. Number 5, regulate your nervous system. And number 6, prioritize sleep. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you find some benefit in this. And I know that not every single one of these steps will feel doable for everyone, but my challenge to you is to pick one that stood out to you, or that was interesting to you, or that was calling to you. That is your intuition telling you, hey, we need to try this. And even if you just try it for a week or try it for a month, or make those swaps, some of them require a little bit more in like a financial investment, right? Like glass is not cheap, but long term is going to be so much more beneficial for your body. So my challenge for you is to start with what you can do. If you feel like you need to switch to glass containers and get rid of all plastic, start there. Start small. You don't have to replace every single thing in your home. And I will be the first one to tell you, I am not perfect at this. I still cook off of nonstick pans, and I am slowly working. I know that good quality pans that do not contain these xenoestrogens or these fake estrogens, the endocrine disruptors, I know that they are an investment, and I'm doing my research, and I am making sure that I am being a smart consumer, right? Being able to afford what I know is best for my family, and I don't want to rush into anything. So know that I'm not perfect at this either, and I'm working to make the changes that I can as I am able. And at different seasons in my life, I will need different of these. And going through this for myself, I've been reminded I have been kind of slacking on doing seed cycling, and that is something that I want to get back into. So this is just your encouragement. You don't have to do all of these all at the same time. In fact, I encourage you not to do all of these all at the same time. Pick one that you can focus on. Focus on that. And when you feel like you have a handle on it, if you feel like, yes, it's benefiting me, yes, I feel better about this, this is a better choice for me, listen to this episode again and see what is standing out to you again. Follow your intuition, trust your intuition. Don't assume that because I present this as a tip or a habit to support you, that it's going to be what's best for you. You really do have to rely on your own tuition and your own knowing and your life situation. And you can ask your body, what do you need right now? And your body will tell you. If you listen, if you ask, and if you listen, your body will tell you. So that's my little piece of advice. Hopefully there's something on here that's standing out. And if you still need more help, please reach out. If you need help calming your nervous system or regulating your nervous system and you want to do a process, there is a link in the show notes below for that. If you feel like your hormones are even more out of balance and you've tried all these things, you feel like you've tried all the things, you feel like you've talked to your doctor and you've done all the blood work and everything looks quote unquote normal, reach out and let's do a hair scan, because it can tell you specifically what it is that is stressing your body out, causing your body to make all the cortisol instead of all the other hormones that your body needs. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for joining me, and I will talk to you next week.